we're back at the golf green project. It's just over 5 weeks since we seeded the bent grass seed, trying to make this into a golf green. It's gone okay so far. We're not 100% happy with what we've got. We have got a few burr patches where we have had some heat damage, but today we're going to sort it hopefully with this £36 tool off Amazon. So if we have a look at this slotter, which I've used previously to do the seeding on this job, when we've come to overseed, I did use this, but it's just not created enough holes. So it has come through, but the patches are just so far apart, they're just never going to fill in. So I felt I had little option but to buy this. I saw it on another video. I don't take credit for people's work, but I saw something similar. It was a Wolfgarten tool used like this, and it created more of a tilth. Now Wolfgarten don't make this particular one anymore, so I couldn't get it, so I just found the next best thing, which was this one off Amazon. So before we can crack on with overseeding and showing you the difference between these two, I need to brush the dew off this morning, because we've got dew and worm cast which need taken care of, and then we'll get on with a cut, and then we can crack on with these two tools and show you the difference. Okay, so that's the sweeping off done. What I did was just use this customer's brush. It's quite a stiff brush, but it's quite free as well. It's not totally stiff like you sometimes get. There's a bit of give on that, and that's what you need. If it was just one of the short stubby ones, it wouldn't actually do anything. So you need a bit of length on there, and if you just use one of the ones that you use for brushing in sand on paving, like a very soft bristle brush, you're not going to disturb the worm cast with that. So this one is quite a good one to use. Okay, so I just wanted to show you up close before I mow it. I just think it'd be better. So you can see where I've overseeded, and you can see that almost like the rotation of the spikes on the slotter, and it's just leaving too many gaps. So we've got seed coming through in the hole, but where the seed landed and there was no hole for it to fall into or anything, it's probably just washed away. So we need to get these filled in. Well, we've got this nice weather, and I'm hoping that the tool we've bought is going to do the job for us. But before that, let's get this cut with the Alex Sterling. Now I did mention a few last week in my short that this lawn will never see two things, and that is compost or a granular fertiliser. But what I forgot to add to that equation was a rotary mower. This lawn will never see a rotary mower. It'll only be cut with the Alex Sterling. Has been since day one. If you just look back at this video now, when I was giving it its first cut, I started off at 10mm, but it was just too short, so I raised it up to about 14, and it just gives us a better finish. So this has only been cut with an Alex Sterling so far, and it's paying off. And if we just have a look up close, where it's come through nice, see how short it is, and it's really firm as well. And the customer's not in, so I might get his golf club out after and have a putt, and we'll see if it's any good. I did sink a putt last week, but it's come on since then, so I'll see if I can do it again. But yeah, I'll never love this grass seed, I'll be honest with you. It's hard work, it's just it's a daily job for me, but we're going to crack on. We'll give it my all, but I am happy with the results at the moment in terms of most of it, and these patches just getting better day in, day out. They're just filling in ever so slowly. Well, so we need to get seeding on today. The conditions ain't great because it's windy, but this is the only time I've got to get this job done. And we're not seeding the whole thing, we're only doing the patches, so it'll be easy to do. We can just wait for a little drop in the wind. Like now, it's just dropped totally, but this road is a wind tunnel, as I've said before, and it can just pick up and start blowing a gale. So yeah, let's get that Sterling out. I know I showed you in the shop, but not everybody saw that. So just okay, fine, the clippings there. I said it's like it is like rolling tobacco. You can't really smell it. It's got a weird smell. But yeah, so that's just on 13mm. That's all we're cutting at the minute. and then next year when we top dress it, we'll just load it with sand. That sets it back to 0, and then we let the grass grow through to the height we want, and then we can start bringing it down proper then to like a tournament length. Caveat, if the customer still lives here. Okay, so that's the cut done. It's looking nice in the areas where it's nice. In the areas where it's rubbish, it's looking awful. So if you notice I have to take the hole out, that's because I didn't put it in deep enough, so the edges are kind of visible to the blades, if you like. So I just take it out so I can roll over that hole. So I'll stick that back in, but I'm thinking before I do that, I'm just going to try and dig a little bit out at the bottom without disturbing the sides. So hopefully I can do that and then bury it a bit deeper so I don't keep having to take it out in the future. Okay, so let's just have a closer look at this tool and how it came. You just undo these 3 things and they just slot in. They come out of that, but some you buy on Amazon, they come and you have to put them together with nuts and bolts, and I didn't want that, so I bought this purposely for that reason. A bit more expensive, about 5 and more expensive, but worth it because these are all not nutted. They're like put in with some pins, so they're not going to come out. The bolts ain't going to come undone, and it's not telescopic. It is screw, so it just comes in 3 pieces. Didn't tighten that one back up. Comes in 3 pieces, so it's easy to store away as well. Just undo them. And that's how it came. So you don't have to do much, literally 1 minute to put it together. Okay, so this is the original slotter. So as you can see, it's going in the ground, but it's just leaving too big a hole, and the seed's falling into that. But then all this area here is just like a big flat pan, and the seed's just washing off. So we're getting loads of seed dropping into one hole. And obviously we could just keep going like this, but you just don't, it's just too wide to get any real tilth going. So I'm hoping the next tool that I've got is going to give us a bit more tilth without doing too many passes. So let's go and get it and let's have a look. Okay, so this is the new tool off Amazon. So let's just start doing a little bit. So it is doing a bit more of a job, but it is bringing up a bit of soil, which is not ideal, but it seems to be doing a bit more of a job, easier, and we're getting more holes. So I think we'll carry on with this. We just kind of go like that with it. Oh yeah, that's how you do it. You kind of work sideways, and it really breaks up that soil. If you work forwards, it doesn't actually do anything, but if you work left or right, it seems to break it up, which is what we're after. So we'll carry on doing that, and then we'll get some seed on. It's also going to let watering easier as well, so when it rains the seed doesn't just wash off that really hard compact surface. I am quite liking this actually. It's got to be soft though, I would think. If it's rock hard and dry, it's not really going to do anything. So you might want to pre-soak with water, and obviously water, and a bit of H2O wetting agent in there as well. I think that would work good. So yeah, so we'll just do a bit more work, and then we'll get some seed on. I'm just going to have to sprinkle it on by hand, I think. This area as well. This is probably going to wear out the quickest because I'm accessing the lawn from here, so we'll have to keep changing where we enter the lawn, but I just have a habit of entering in the middle, I don't know why. So yeah, I'm liking this tool actually. We've got a lot to do though. I think where it's little small holes, I think what seed is knocking around will fill in over time, but these bigger areas aren't going to fill in. So yes, we'll get some seed out and put that down, we'll sprinkle it over, and then get some 70-30 top dressing over the top. Okay, so I'm just going to do some seeding. Now this is the first time I've ever done this by hand, so I'm not quite sure it's going to go down. I was hoping, well, in the big areas I'll be able to get the spreader out and do it that way, but these small areas, if we use the spreader, I'm going to be going over the areas which has already got seed there, so I am going to have to be selective, and we're just going to have to sprinkle it in as though we're sprinkling salt. Could do it like that on your arm, but it's not very accurate. Gordon Ramsay style. But I'm glad people like said, oh, you're putting too much down, you put in, it should be going on at 12. Well, I think you're putting it down at 12, you're having a laugh actually. I think what I did going on at that rate was, well, what would happen if we'd have gone on at 3 times less what we did? Where would we be right now? I'm not quite sure. So we'll just keep sticking to the plan like Ten Hag. We'll stick to the plan. Working on my Dutch accent, don't know why. Going to Grindsfest next week. And last year at Saltex, we met a guy called Ronnie from, he was from this hybrid turf company, and he was from Holland. And we were going to, after the Saltex last year, we just went to Alton Towers for the day. And this guy, Ronnie, didn't, I think I said, well, we're going on the, we're going to Alton Towers, it's a theme park. And he just didn't have a clue what we were going on about. So I said, what, Ronnie, you don't have the theme park in the Netherlands, the roller coaster? And he found that really amusing. So I'm hopefully going to see him this year as well, and I'll remind him, and I'll say, oh, we had a great time at the theme park, yeah? Sorry, I work on my own too much. But yeah, so just got to keep going with it. Who cares if we put too much seed down? Who actually cares? The seed police ain't around today. Well, you can do what I think I said earlier in the year. This year I'm going to be saying a lot this year. It's your lawn. You can do exactly what you want with it. I just do what I want on my lawn. And more often than not, I back it up with results. And you can do what you want on your lawn. I just document my work. Remember, I'm paid by the customers to deliver a service. So I've got to keep things up. There's expectation. So yeah, so I'll just finish off doing this seed. And then I've got some top dressing there. And we'll just do a light. We don't want to put too much on, because we don't want to be changing the levels in certain areas. We don't want to be doing that at all. A little bit of a worm, there you can go. Yeah, right. Okay. Just get my top dressing. Just left over this from when we did the original job. Got about 20 bags. That's got to be bone dry, so we're literally just going to sprinkle it on. Don't want to be putting anything other than a fine layer on. So if we start putting a ridge, the mower's going to be hitting a bump. So it's literally just got to be enough just to cover the seed and maybe knock it into the holes a little bit. It just gives it a nice bit of a blanket and something to hug whilst it's growing in. And then if you wanted after, you could always go over again with the new tool. I think it's a soil miller. See, it's not just we're not putting loads on. Just a nice gentle covering. And obviously next time we come, we're going to mow and it'll squish it right down. But that's going to be like 3 or 4 days away. It's not growing as fast now. So there you go. Yeah. If this doesn't work, I don't know what is going to work. Do I wish I'd never started the project? Part of me does. but part of me is enjoying the challenge as well. But I just wish it had been a bit more consistent all over, really. That's my only wish that I would have. Right, I think that's the tape blowing away. That sort of has brought up a bit of the seed that had come through, but hopefully it'll just squash back down and take hold again. Right, I'll just do one more handful and then we'll move on to another area. But because you've seen what I've done, I don't need to show you that. I'll just crack on. So I've just found a bit of a use for a tool as well, is that if you've just got some areas which ain't big enough to do the whole thing, you can just use it as a bit of a stabber, just to create a little few holes, and then you can just fill these with seed. And a bit of sand over the top. It's hard to do all in one day because you just get bored, so it's something we're going to be doing little and often. We've got 8 weeks. So we can get some seed down every 2 weeks for the next 3 batches, so the next 6 weeks. That gives us 2 weeks of growing in time before you're probably not going to get any growth after that, or a lot slower. So we've got plenty of time yet to get things up and running. So just one more there. Bit of seed on. Bit of sand. And remember again, don't want to be changing those levels. This is literally just like a coating just to knock it in, to fill in the holes and knock in the seed like that. Okay, so this is probably the worst area on the lawn, and it corresponds with having the hedge and the shrubs and the conifers and everything right there, sucking the life out of it from underneath. But since it's been raining, I put the wetting agent on, it has got a lot softer and it is filling in, but it's just too slow, so we do need to take action. So this is an area big enough where we can go on with the spreader rather than doing it by hand. So the same process again. We're just going to gently go left to right. We don't want to try and disturb the seed that is already there. Just got to work around it. It's quite therapeutic actually, because it is actually doing something. Again, if it was rock hard and dry, it's not really going to do anything. So like I said, pre-soak with water and wetting agent really would help. But we've had a lot of rain over the last few days, and hopefully it's kind of put an end to the fear of a hosepipe ban here in the northwest. There's enough moisture around now that I probably can't see myself using a hosepipe that much now. I think we might get a bit of a hot spell where we might have to, just in certain areas over the road at Galactic, just under the tree and stuff. But I think generally we've had that much rain, it's filled up the table quite nice underneath. So again, left to right, you see how it's just breaking it up nice into a nice tilth, which is what we're after. Again, if we just went forwards, it doesn't actually do anything because you've got the gaps. Where if we have to just look left to right, it's more economic and better use of time. I'm trying to get rid of some of these pines which are falling. So many variables in this garden. Pines, roots, shade, we've got everything. So, yeah, so we'll just do this area and I'll get the seed out just to go all the way over here. If you feel it just a bit harder, you can just go a bit more aggressive with it. Just a bit there. Alright, we're cooking. Alright, as Bob Ross would say. Alright. Right. Looks like a map of the world. So we'll get our spreader out. I'm just going to target, so if I went like, I'm not putting any on, but if I went over it, I would be putting some on that spot there, which I don't want to do. So I'm just going to kind of do it up to there and just work round really. See what we're doing. And then we're not putting it there. You just got to kind of remember where you've been. I say if you put too much down, who cares? Seed police are on a Monday. Seed police come around here on a Monday, so if we can get it done before then, we'll be alright. So yeah, so I think that's done. And just because we've been over it with the tyre track, it has just compacted it down. I'm just going to just gently go over it again, just to get rid of those tyre tracks. That's the only problem with the spreader. It obviously has to make contact with the ground. We can just break those up, mix it in a little bit, get rid of some of those spots where if it got rained on and it's compact, it will just wash off, which is what's happened in other areas where we've got loads of germination which just washed off. So yeah, right, so we're ready for some sand. So this is 70/30. I got it from East Riding Horticulture. It's the cheapest there. And if you live near York, they'll deliver it. So you don't have to pay a delivery charge. It might be a minimum order, but say they're in that area all the time anyway, so they'll send it. So yeah, so it looks a bit of a mess after, but it's for the greater good. For the greater good. Little sketch from Hot Fuzz, is it? Alright, so yeah, it's good. 70/30, 70 sand, 30 topsoil in there, mixed up, kiln dried. If it's not kiln dried, you're just putting it on in big lumps, and it's not going to be conducive to getting your seed growing in a lawn like this. If you do have a wet bag, you can just tip it out and leave it in the sun, and it'll soon dry out. Keep moving it around, but generally you want it kiln dried. And it does add to the cost because of the gas price. It's quite expensive now because of the gas prices, because that's how they dry it out. So it is what it is. So yeah, so that's that area done. So that's the spreader bit done. So we've shown you the spreader and just a hand. So I'll just crack on with the rest, and then it'll be job done. I'm just going to give this a light mist over the top just to start that process off. So if it does rain, it's had some water on there to soften it so it doesn't wash off again. So it'll just be a case of, if it doesn't rain, just keeping these areas pretty wet. But it should last a bit longer this time because we've not got the 30-degree temperatures like last time. It's like late teens, mid to late teens at the moment. So yes, that is job done. Okay, so that's this video done using this new tool at 36 quid. It's definitely worth a punt if you've got areas like I have in your lawn that need a little bit of titivation, and you can use it in your borders and everything else as well. And you can also use it as like a micro aerator as well. It's good for that. I just did a few areas on the lawn, and in the spring we can maybe just keep going over that just before a fertiliser or anything like that. It'll just help get that in to the ground. So yeah, so definitely worth a punt. There's a link in the description if you're interested in buying one on Amazon. So yeah, so we'll see you next time here on Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert when we're doing something else lawn related. See you soon.